Hey, what's up, everybody? This is your boy Kenny, and this is Empire Season 4, Episode 9. And the name of this episode is Slave to Memory, and this is the fall finale. Yo, this fall finale was awesome. I enjoyed every minute of it, especially when what we saw in this episode is that a lot of enemies were handled, but then new enemies begin to descend. And that's something that I definitely got on this episode. And I can honestly say I definitely caught a lot of movie references in this episode too. But I'm gonna definitely get to it. But before I get started, let me offer my love and condolences to everyone that was affected by the bombing in New York, as well as the tragedies in Vegas and Texas. Also, everyone that was affected by the hurricanes Harvey, Irma, Jose, and Maria. If you can give any kind of relief or support, please do so, because we definitely need to be there for one another. Now, let's get started with this review. We actually see that, Andre is in this grandeur dream. And in this dream, he is this superstar that goes by the name King. And we see Andre strutting down. He got the little, backup dancers, and he begins to sing Superstar Until You Come Back to Me by Luther Vandross. And let me tell you, Trey Byers is a phenomenal singer. And this was great that we actually got an episode where he was able to showcase how much of a good singer he is. But we know the character Andre is not a singer. And that what pretty much differentiates him from his siblings, because both, his brothers are musically inclined, but yet he's not. But he's very good with business. So he's performing, singing his ass off, and then he's looking down the audience. He sees his family there, but the one person he doesn't see is Lucius. So he gets off stage calling Pop, 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 literally walking through the audience calling for his father. We actually come to, that's pretty much what's going on in Andre's mind, but Andre is actually strapped to a bed because he actually had a psychotic break, which what we witnessed in the last episode, when we realized that character Pamela Rose really did not exist. She was pretty much a hallucination in his mind. And like his psychosis was so far gone that he literally created another person and literally was going through life like this person was real, and the whole time he was interacting with his damn self. So yeah, that medicine that doctor gave him broke his ass down. And pretty much Andre is also in the midst of fighting for his life, because we see the doctor comes in and she pretty much lets Lucius know he had a break. He may not recover from this, but Lucius lets her know he will make it. He will survive. You understand that? I'm like, oh yeah, Lucius is back. But Lucius sat there looking at his son, seeing his son's state, and he says, son, I'm going to need you to fight, and I'm going to need you to get better, because I will avenge everyone that has affected my family. And at this point, ain't no turning back. It's eye for eye, tooth for tooth, and bloody soul for bloody soul. So Lucius is definitely back. But we see throughout the episode, one person is not that convinced. And what I mean by that, because in the next scene, we have a scene with Lucius and Cookie. And, they're talking about, their plan to take down the Dubois. And Cookie is dead set on it. Like, this bitch came after my kids. This bitch is about to go down. And I'm not holding back nothing. So we need to get a plan to make things happen. And, she's pretty much checking in like, look, Lucius, are you really in this? Are you really with me? And he's kind of like throwing back a little bit, because he's like, why are you coming at me like this? Of course I'm here, and I'm back. She's like, yeah, you back, but then that moment she be kind of, you know, you be kind of like, you know, that you be kind of going back into your little Dwight phase. So I at times don't know if you're fully back, because she wants the full Lucius back, and the full Lucius is there, but at this point she just is not seeing it, because she's gotten to this point where she's been doing everything on her own. You know, Lucius, she's want Lucius to rise to the occasion and really handle shit. But they pretty much decide that they're gonna take care of the Dubois after they deal with Eddie's going away party, because you know, Eddie is actually, you know, leaving Motown now that Lucius is back to his full health. Now we next go to Miss Dianna Dubois. This woman is throwing the Captain's Ball, which is this big grandeur ball for high society, you know, people in New York, you know, and she's the belle of the ball, you know. And we see this about, you know, Diane from the moment we met her. She loves to be grand, and she loves to put on a performance when it's at, you know, these, you know, top society, you know, gatherings. So she knows all of the crap that she's done, that the Lions are gonna clap back, and they're gonna clap back hard. So Diane is literally, you know, she's literally shitting in her dress, like, 'cause she is really scared, because this woman has literally a room full of people, and so she got all of this security, and she also is making sure that every person that's involved in this event is vetted. That they're pretty much, you know, security, background checks, everything. Even the person who cleans the toilet, because she wants to make sure that the Lions will not enter into this ball and pretty much destroy her baby. And we see in this scene, Angelo's there and Anika. And she is literally treating Anika like she an employee. And I'm looking at Anika like, you stupid bitch. You got $25 million from Lucius, and Hakeem gave you an open window to see your daughter, but you decided to get in there with the Dubois and take the baby from Hakeem to be a part of this whole Dubois clan, and they treat you like shit. They treat you like you one of the like you one of the employees. You know, because she's telling, you know, Anika, oh yes, make sure you call the Philharmonic and make sure that they book this, and also make sure that they do this, and then, oh yeah, make sure that the napkins are right on the table. I mean, she was just giving her chores as if like she's like her minion. And I'm like, see, Anika is stupid as hell, and there's a lot that happens to Anika in this. There's also an explosion that happens with Anika, because I'm going to be real with you, I don't feel sorry for Anika not one damn bit. Y'all may disagree, but hey, I pretty much don't feel sorry for Anika at all, because you had a good setup, but you chose to be on some foul shit, and you just made your situation worse. You left the situation thinking you getting something better, and you ended up less than what you had. Kind of like that 80-20. There you go. And we see that Angelo is still drinking and is still miserable. Even though now he got Anika and he supposedly is against the Lions, he still is miserable. Then we go to Eddie's, you know, so next thing we have is Eddie's party that they're throwing at Leviticus. We see that we have a quick scene with Becky. Becky's hanging out with Portia. Portia, you know, gets like this really big jumbo shrimp and starts eating it, and it turns Becky's stomach, and she ends up getting sick. And I'm like, oh my God, Becky pregnant. And my guess that is definitely J Papa's baby. Because remember from the last episode we saw the two of them, they up in the studio and he all like, I like the way you look when you mad. You always look so pretty when you mad. And then the next thing you know, he's sliding up in her in the studio. So yeah. Becky is definitely expecting, and we definitely get another scene with her later, and I'm gonna get to that. But pretty much at this party, we see that Eddie is, having, a moment with the Lyons family, because we see that Eddie and Lucius go way back. I mean, way back to the beginning. They both came out of Philly together and became, musical giants. And, also Eddie is one of the people that helped Lucius establish Empire. And we actually see that they have like a little sit down, and he's saying like, "Oh, I'm out to see, old man, if you really back. I want to see if you really got what it takes." Because he knows where Lucius' starting point is always the piano. They get down on the piano and they start jamming, and I'm like, Forrest Whitaker was getting it, was giving me old school soul. And I was like, "Oh, right now, that's what I'm talking about." So we definitely got that going on. Then, now that the party's over, we get the scene where, Cookie along with Jamal and Hakeem, Thirsty and Lucius, they're all trying to figure out a plan of how they're going to enter this party. Well, at first is the family. Then Thurston comes in and he gives them a report. He said that, look, she done vetted every damn person in there, from the person cleaning the toilets to the person pouring the drinks. Like, this security is so tight, it's tighter than a damn virgin. Ain't no way we're gonna break into this. And Lucius at this time is playing the piano and is kind of like in his zone. When Lucius is playing that piano, that's when he comes alive, and that's when he's in his creative mode. I mean, it's kind of like working on the treadmill. He gets his best ideas sometimes by playing on the piano. So he's playing this piano or whatever, and then Cookie's like, "Excuse me, Lucius, we are having a family meeting. Don't you think you need to actually add something to this? I mean, instead of over there, acting like Beethoven." He's like, "Look, I was waiting for you guys to ask me, to rattle my cage. But, here I see that you guys are kind of trying to make this elaborate plan. We're lions. We don't need no elaborate plan on those chutes and ladders. We beat people over their heads with music. That's how we're going to get into this party, with music." And I was just like, Lucius is definitely back. Because Lucius has always had that, always had that level of ambiguity, to what he says. And you just knew that he was going to have an elaborate plan. And the way it plays out was fucking awesome. But I'm going to get to it. Alright, so we see how that go down. Then we get a quick scene with Becky and Thirsty. Thirsty's like, "Girl," because Becky's crying. And Becky and Thurston comes to check on her. He's like, "Girl, what's wrong with you? What, your homo's acting crazy or something?" She slaps the crap out of him. It's like, "Don't say nothing about my hormones." So now Thurston is the only person right now that knows that Becky is pregnant. And, she got sick off of the smell of the shrimp when she was hanging out with Portia. So she now knows that, yeah, she's pregnant. And and I think it's Jay Papa's baby. But I'm starting to think that Thurston has a thing with her too. So I'm wondering, how far did her and Thurston go? Because Thirsty like the big girls. So, more power to him. Big is beautiful. So, and we definitely see that Gabby is definitely looking snatched. And, shout out to Gabby, she's a big girl. You're looking great. And definitely loving her role. And I'm loving how they're expanding her role too. Okay, so then we get the scene, between Warren and Jamal. Warren enters in Jamal's apartment. Jamal immediately grabbed a knife and was like, "I'm ready to cut your ass up. What the hell you doing up in here? And how'd you get here anyway?" Warren spills the beans. The Dubois paid him $10,000 to leave town. He gave the $10,000 to the bellman so he can come up to talk to Jamal. So that said a lot that Warren really is really in love with Jamal, because you gave pretty much the little bit of cash you had to the bellman just to get up there to talk to him. That says a lot. But then he starts saying that, I'm not looking for sympathy. I deserved every bout and bruise and cut that I received in that fight. I deserved every bit of it. And Jamal was like, yes, you did. But if anything, you deserve more than that. Bitches like you deserve to die. Because think about this, Warren. The whole damn time you knew this bitch was coming for me and coming for my family. You knew about her plot to take Bella. You knew about her plot. You knew about, your involvement, trying to screw me over, and that you were a plant on me, and you said nothing. Hell, we even seen the scene when they ran into Angelo. Him and Angelo are cousins. He ain't say nothing. And then he said, and also, what happened with my brother, Andre? My brother could have died because of what your mother did. And you said nothing. He said that, you know what, you disgust me. And if anything, niggas like you need to be dead, so don't come. So he says, get the hell out of my house and don't bring your black ass over here again. And we saw that really tug that Warren deep. And Warren looked like he was about to start breaking down and he's about to walk out. And then all of a sudden, Jamal calls him out, Warren. And then we can see in Jamal's face, he still loves Warren too. And then he says, what was it that you needed to tell me? Because, Warren came in there to tell him something, but Jamal immediately just went off and started cussing him out. So we see that Jamal is game, that one, he still loves Warren, but yeah, he's in on the plan to shut the Dubois down, and now Warren, he knows that Warren is ready to take him down too. So then we get a scene with Cookie and Lucius. They're in the car. Lucius had me rolling in this scene because he's talking about, I just noticed you've been acting real shady with me lately. What is it? Is it my leg? Is it my leg? Is that what it is? Is my leg? And Cookie's like, I don't care about your damn leg, Lucius. He's like, well, if you don't care about this leg, you need to be worried about that third leg I had. The third leg I got. Shoot, I got that third leg that'll have you screaming all the way until morning, girl. And, I may have a short leg, but shoot, I got a leg that'll make up for it, and you'll love it. You've always loved it. And he was just going, and I'm like, Lucius, you are so in your feelings right now. It was crazy. But it's obvious that Lucius is back, because Lucius has always been that petty, and has always been that shady and cutthroat, and just slick with his mouth. So it's funny. And then Cookie's like, man, I'm not thinking about you, your third leg, or any damn leg. I'm thinking about taking this bitch down because first of all, she ain't even coming for you. She's coming for me, and she came after our sons. I'm ready to take her down, but I want to know, are you with me? Are you like, here? Are you Lucius? Are you ready to be what I need you to be in this moment? And he's like, yeah, girl, he says, I'm about to handle this. And she's like, no, I'm about to handle this. And he's like, no, we about to handle this. So he's kind of like, so she's starting to get that inkling that, yeah, Lucius is back. But it's been a long time coming, and I'll definitely, kind of wrap it up, later on. So let's keep it moving. So we had that going on. Then we see Angelo gets out of his building and is about to get in his limo, and is about to get in his limo to go to the captain's ball. But once he gets in there, he sees that the security that's supposed to be accompanying him literally turned on his ass, and now he in the damn car with Lucius and Cookie. And so pretty much they said, oh, Angelo, yeah, we running the show now, and we about to go for a little ride. And then Cookie was like, yeah, because we got something for you to sign, bitch. I was like, all right, Cookie, got to get his ass. They take him to an alley, and Lucius gives Angelo this document to say that you need to sign that you pretty much, knew that pretty much, saying that you were not, affiliated with your mother kidnapping Bella. Because now Horn has talked, so now they got all the information, all of Dianna Dubois' plans, and everybody's involved. So pretty much says you need to implicate that your mother kidnapped Bella, and this will eradicate you from the situation, so you won't go to jail. But yeah, your mother's going down, and you need to sign off on it, saying that that your mother kidnapped Bella. And first we kind of threw it down like, man, I ain't signing this shit. And Lucius was like, you're so rude. You didn't have to do that. But then again, he says, but I'm about to let you know something. You gonna sign this, or you about to feel some heat. And we see he pulls out that gun, and he's saying, now look, bruh, I know what it's like to have a dominating mother, and you can't really be who you want to be because this dominating mother just wants to keep you under her control. I know what it's like. Me and you are the same. And he's like, man, we ain't got nothing. And then Angelo, still being the little asshole he is, starts talking his crap. Man, me and you ain't got nothing in common. The only thing we got in common is that we used to bang that bum bitch in bed. And I was like, oh, Angelo, you evil little shit. Because after that, Lucius came back and he beat the living shit out of Angelo. Literally took the gun and pistol whipped him to the point that he was a bloody mess. And threw that contract down and said, I told you I wasn't playing with you. Sign this damn contract. And then he starts signing it. He's bleeding and everything. He's like, oh no, don't get blood on the contract. They'll think something happened, They'll probably think something happened while you were signing it. We wouldn't want them to go down that road, would they? So that was pretty funny. But he got him to sign off that his mother kidnapped Bella. So that's one thing. And then, so pretty much we see that go on. Then we get the captain's ball. And I'm going to try to tie everything up in one thing because I don't want, I don't want it to be too long. So we see at the captain's ball, Dianna Dubois is getting airs like she normally does with, from the moment we first met her. Oh, Mayor, oh, yes, I like to see you out there on the dance floor. Just getting straight bougie tease. Fake as all hell. She's an ice queen. She has no feelings, so she can put on any face at any moment. We know that about Miss Dianna Dubois. So we see all of that going on, and we see that, there is tight security. Lucius and Cookie come right in, and Angelo pretty much says, they're with me. Come right in. And they probe, and pretty much he gets, Cookie and Lucius through security. Then all of a sudden, he finds his mother and he lets them know that, Mom, I need to let you know that the lions are here. Both Lucius and Cookie are here. Next thing you know, they turn around and Lucius and Cookie are doing the damn tango, and this definitely screamed True Lies. That is like my movie, True Lies with, Arnold Schwarzenegger and Jamie Lee Curtis, when they were doing this tango, and, it was like with such emotion, and it was like such movement and such intensity. They were delivering it. Like Taraji and Terrence did the damn thing with that dance. And that's where it all started. Then, after they get the dance and everybody is kind of admired by their dancing, next we get the Philharmonic Orchestra. And not only are they playing classical, but they also infused hip-hop and trap music. And Dianne is getting hot with anger. She is pissed because she's like, oh, the whole, pretty much how they entered into the party was through the damn orchestra. The orchestra was the only people that weren't vetted because Dianna is such a bougie, stuck-up bitch. She thinks that she is such high society and that the lions are such low society. They don't need to vet the opera because obviously they're low class Negroes and they don't know nothing about high art. Well, Cookie was like, well, this is just to let you know that we in the ghetto love classical music also. So they do this number, and, Jamal and Hakeem get out there. Hakeem opens up about how she kidnapped his baby, and then Jamal talks about how she sicked her nephew on him to fall in love with him to break his heart, and she's saying that this woman is not a good woman. And then they start singing, love is a drug, and they pretty much make it hot and trap, and then it's like they combine trap with classical music. It was crazy, and that song had me rocking. I was like, yo, that anger and that frustration that Jamal went through after he found out the truth about Warren, he put that in the song. Hakeem put all of his energy to what he was going through, involving Bella, and that track was just hot. And they kill it, and you literally see people in the audience kind of like, what? What is this? Oh my God, I can't believe it. Like, we literally see people like literally having convulsions. Like, I can't believe this is actually happening. Then, after the performance, Cookie takes the mic, and Cookie begins to spill the beans. She talks about how, Miss Dianna Dubois, because they know everything because Warren gave them access to everything. So they got all of the goods. She talks about how she goes on stage and literally reads Diane for filth. She talks about how she kidnapped her grandbaby, how she sicked Warren onto Jamal to make him fall in love to break his heart. And then she talks about Warren's twin sister, an old doctor who was sick on Andre and gave him this this psycho-hallucinogenic, medication that literally caused him to have they literally made him have a breakdown. And he's literally right now in the hospital fighting for his life because of that bitch, the pillar of your community, the apple of everybody's eye. Who you think Dianna Dubois is? She's not high society. She ain't nothing but a common criminal. I'm like, you better let it be known, Cookie. Let it be known how much of a cold-hearted bitch Dianna Dubois is. And Diane is just all up in her thing, but then we start to see that people start turning their noses up at her. People are kind of like, oh my God. But Diane is such an ice queen. So she starts fighting back, calling Cookie that you're a piece of trash and your family is beneath me and there's nothing you can ever say that will ever affect me. And then she says, and all you people up here who's shivering in your shoes and all of a sudden you're batting your eyes, all of you wouldn't be here without me either. So swallow that. And I'm like, oh, that Diane was going to be evil to the core. And she's like, you know what? You deserve to be in jail. And Cookie's like, oh, really? I deserve to be in jail. Okay, well, it's interesting because they're going to police right now. The police come in there, Diane talking about arrest her now. And they're like, Miss Dianna Dubois, you're under arrest for the kidnapping of Bella Lyon. And I was like, boom! That was the best revenge they could have got on Dianna Dubois because you not only ruined her image and her reputation, but then you put that bitch in a damn slammer. And she's still acting high society. Everybody cover, she's like, don't touch me. I'm like, oh, this bitch is a hot mess. But I lived for that Captain Ball scene because I was so ready for them to clap back at Diane, and I am so glad they did. It was everything. Then, after that, because Nika was actually there at first, but then we actually see that next time we see Nika, she's packing up all her stuff, got the nanny, trying to get up everything, and then next thing you know, Hakeem comes in there. He's like, he comes in there with this contract, and he says, sign it. And she's like, what the hell you think you're doing? She's like, I came here to get my daughter back. He's like, this is what's going to happen. I'm getting my daughter, and you're going to sign this. And she's like, I ain't signing nothing. He's like, well, then you're going to jail. Because we got video that you were an accessory to Bella's kidnapping. So you were an affiliate with Dianna Dubois, and by signing this, you pretty much, are off the hook. But at the end of the day, there will be no statute of limitations when it comes down to kidnapping. So if you come out of line or do anything else out of pocket, we coming for that ass. And we see Anika break down crying, don't take my daughter away from me. And he says, I never wanted to take her away from you. You took her away from me. And that's where you crossed the line. He said that we need to be adults and actually raise this child and not play these mediocre, vicious games with each other. But he said at the end of the day, all of your crap stops right now. You are going to be a mother to this child, and you're going to do what you have to do. And if you come out of line and try to do anything messy, just know we got this, and you will go right back to jail. So he's like, I'm taking my daughter home. He's like, come on, Bella, let's go home. And we see that Bella was completely attached to Hakeem. And it broke Anika down. And I was like, good for you, you rotten bitch. You got exactly what you deserved. The Lions, yeah, they may have did you dirty, but then they hooked you up a lot. And and in all honesty, they have been more good to you than them Dubois ever have. Because in all honesty, you was nothing but a play toy to Angelo, because Angelo's still mad and still bitter. So obviously what you serving up in that bedroom ain't making him change his emotions. So really, you ain't all that great. You perfect eye candy because Anika is beautiful. But obviously, Anika ain't all what people believe. And yeah, you got what you deserve, and I was so glad that Hakeem got his manhood back. What Shine taught him in the last episode rubbed off on him, and he came up in there and got his daughter and walked out as a man, and I was so happy about that. So that was definitely a good thing. Also, what also happened during the captain's ball, which I missed, while Cookie's up there telling all the tea, we get a video. We get pretty much a video display, and it's Warren. So now Warren is live on video, and he pretty much co-signs that yes, Diane plotted to kidnap Bella, and she did pay me. She did offer me money to flirt with Jamal, and yes, and he admitted to everything. And then all of a sudden Angelo's like, oh my God, what's wrong? Do you want more money? He's like, man, I don't want your money. I want nothing from you guys. I want my soul back. And that's something no amount of money you guys have can make me get my soul back. Because I'm going to take it back. And I'm like, you better go hot. You better go, Warren. So Warren has already said, F you, Dubois. I'm Team Lion. This upsetted Angelo so bad because Angelo kind of whispered to his mother, I'm going to go find this son of a bitch and I'm going to lay him down. The next time we see him, we see Warren is in like this rundown roach motel. He gets a knock on the door thinking it's Jamal. And it's daggone, it's actually Angelo. Angelo comes in there, he puts him at gunpoint. Then all of a sudden Jamal walks in, so he got both of them at gunpoint and talking all this reckless shit. Oh, so what's it gonna be, huh? What, y'all gonna be Romeo and Juliet? Y'all gonna y'all gonna make y'all gonna fall in love, have a lot of makeup sex. I'm like, Angelo need to be put down because he is such a miserable little punk, and he has nothing but bitch tendencies. He's a spoiled brat, and he's used to getting his way, and this really came out in that scene of how much of a spoiled, degenerate piece of crap Angelo really is. Because we even know about, he kind of had that Chappaquiddick situation when he was in high school where he drove the car in the lake and the girl died, and he got off. He's used to getting his way. And due to the fact that he didn't get Cookie, but yet Jamal got Warren, he was ready to, shed some blood. He ends up pretty much popping the gun, ends up shooting Warren. And so then Jamal and Angelo are fighting or whatever. Pretty much we see that, the gun ends up going off between Jamal and Angelo, and we see that Angelo got shot. And then we later find out that Warren did get shot, but he only got shot in the shoulder. But Angelo got shot, in the stomach, in the lower torso. And we really see him bleeding out, and then the last thing we see is Jamal calling the cops and pretty much, reporting that, that Angelo's dead. So yeah, bye Angelo. Deuces, nigga. That's pretty much what I have to say about that, because at one point I fucks with Angelo, but then after a while we started to see who really Angelo was, and at that moment we saw that's what Angelo has always been. That's the part of Angelo that Cookie dies by not marrying him. He was the best that she never had. Hashtag Beyonce, baby. Alright. Next, we actually see that Lucius and Cookie, after everything is over, they pretty much talk, and he pretty much saying that, if you're going to be in my house, I want to know if you're going to move into my bedroom, or are you going to move out? What's going on? Because I still feel like you're still distant from me, and I don't understand it. And she's saying that, look, I know you back, Lucius, but, it's going to take a while for me to get used to, so I think we need to take it slow. So I am not going to move in. I'm going to move out. But we are going to be together, but I want to take it one step at a time. And then we actually see that she gets all of her stuff sent back, when she gets back to the mansion, she has all of her clothes sent back to her condo, but she decides to stay at the house and wait for Lucius because, she was going to give Lucius, that old school loving. And, Lucius, when they part ways, Cookie goes to the mansion, and Lucius decides to go visit Andre. And before Lucius gets there, we see that there's another person who happens to visit Andre. Shine's ass. Oh, wait a minute. Whoa. Let me pump my brakes. So after the whole thing when Lucius and Cookie part ways, we see Eddie is still at Empire. He got him a little young tenderoni that he about to, take to a hotel and smash. And then all of a sudden we get this deranged woman that comes in, and her name is Giselle. And she's played by Nicole Ari Parker. Giselle is Eddie's his first ex-wife. And she's coming up in there, blowing up, and she pretty much is kind of telling the little girlfriend, bye, bitch, go. This don't concern you. And like, she pretty much lets him know that, look, she starts immediately going in about this dude, Steve Lawrence. And he's like, Steve Lawrence is a good business associate of mine. Like, what's going on with Steve Lawrence? She said, look, Steve Lawrence was a Ponzi scheme. Everything we've invested in him is gone. We no longer have any money. We got ripped off. And I was like, oh shit. So, because it's like everything that Eddie has worked for is now gone. So now his first wife is like, look, you think I'm going to be a problem. What about your other ex-wife and about all of them kids you got? You ain't got nothing. What you going to do? What are you going to do about this? And he's like, look, I got this position at Empire. And she's like, oh, God, really? She's like, but I got a plan. The question is, what is that plan? So we see that Eddie, who has been a friend, a confidant, and family, could possibly become an enemy. Then, at the hospital, Andre's in bed. He actually gets a visitor. Shine's ass. Question is, how the fuck did Shine find him and knew he was in the hospital? Because they pretty much had kept it a secret location, but Shine found out where he was and pretty much says that, hey, Andre, you been talking? You been keeping things to yourself? And then it was like he was about to do something. He's like, oh, I think you've been talking. You've been talking. And Lucius walked in immediately and saw Shine there. He's like, Shine, what the hell are you doing here? He's like, I'm just checking on my boy. He's like, your boy? Like, y'all friends? And besides, how did you know that he was even here? He's like, I got my ways. I just had to come and check on my boy, you know, make sure he's good, you know. But I'm gonna get out of here and let you talk with your son, you know, just making sure that, you know, everything good. I'm like, Shine definitely is going to be a problem heading on, because now now he's definitely going to be trying to take Andre down to keep Andre quiet. Because soon as daggone Lucius sits down to Andre starts to get some of his feeling back and starts to speak. And he says, pop, pop, pop. And then all of a sudden Lucius is like, yes, yes. And he says, I tried to kill. He's like, Andre, what is it? And he pretty much said, like, I tried to kill you. And then all of a sudden he's like, what? The next thing you know, we see somebody stick a needle in Lucius's neck, and Lucius is out. We see Cookie wakes up the next morning. She has no idea where Lucius is, and she goes into panic mode because Lucius did not return home that night. And no one knows where the hell Lucius is. And we come to find out Lucius is with that sick, twisted bitch, Dr. Claudia. Claudia done come back and drugged him and got him in some woods. And this scene was giving me misery with Kathy Bates and James Caan. I was like, y'all, like, Lee, your ass ain't slick. But I was so here for it. She coming in like, you know, Dwight, I said that I will never leave you. And I'm never, ever going to leave you. And I'm like, oh, shit. So that's where it left off, and that's where we're gonna, you know, pick up once it returns back in the spring. But that's what I have, y'all. If I missed anything, put it down in the comments, and I also like to hear your feedback in those comments about what you thought about this episode. But that's what I have, y'all. So subscribe to my channel. Click that bell so you get notifications every time I drop a video. Also, follow me on my other social platforms, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Snapchat, and also check out my GoFundMe link. Also, like this video, comment on this video, and share this video, and I will be back, you know, when, you know, with the spring premiere of Empire. So until then, everybody, take care.